Hello, hello. Welcome to the second edition of This is Mappa this week. Wow.
Yay! Busy bees. Busy bees.
Wheat is well consistent, mate. Well consistent.
Yeah, knocking them out. Like, knocking them out of the park.
Out the park. That's it. How you doing, my friend? Long time no speak. It's been a 24
I know,
hours,
right? Like 2 days. Oof. Yeah, better get used to it. Yeah, no, I can't even do my World Cup joke again. You know, can't be repeating it. I know, right? I know. Just, I don't know what happened over the last 2 days. Yeah, I work. You know, what are you going to do?
Pretty much
that's about it, really, isn't it? Nothing.
Pretty much it, yeah.
World hasn't exploded yet.
We've had some good viewing numbers for the interview with Jose Mal. So let's thank Joel, not Jose.
Joel.
Gonna get that one wrong. Okay, no, yeah. So Joel Mal, who has a pretty decent viewing numbers, and thank you to everyone that tuned in. Thank you to Joel for joining us. And we had a comment straight after the show saying, "When are you guys going to do the match review?" Here we are.
Oh, there you go. Ask and we deliver.
What you wish for.
I'm sure there'll be some people to piss off this week.
Of course. Well, so as you guys can see from the ticker at the bottom, the title for this episode is 3-horse race, shots fired on Twitter, and Wardavision. You've heard of Wardavision? We've got Wardavision.
Oh, beautiful.
As I keep saying, boys and girls, there's never a dull moment when it comes to the Protathlima. Honestly, nothing but shenanigans. But
sometimes there's matches as well.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, look, let's start with AEL's 1-0 victory over PARALIMNI. Big victory here if you think about the way that AEL have started the season, mate. And another clean sheet for Muriel.
Yeah.
Or is it Allison?
It must be Allison, man. There's no way he's getting all these clean sheets in. He's their best player, isn't he?
Yep.
I mean, he's even like a bit later on in the game. You'll see in the highlights he ends up doing the bloody defenders' jobs for him as well.
Picking up a yellow card as well.
Yeah, he's doing a lot. He's doing a lot. But yeah,
they're in good form, no, man. They're in good form.
Yeah, but you know, I guess, yeah. I mean, all you need to do is pick up these cheeky 1-0 wins all over the place. I guess that. I guess does what it does. Again, they get points on the board. They get them going.
I never had you down as a glass half empty kind of guy.
Really? With AEL? I had them like 3 glasses full. So I thought, drain them a bit. Yeah, drain them a bit. Get my hopes back down.
I don't know what to tell you about this club. All right, I said they're in good form. They haven't lost since ANORTHOSIS on the 27th of November. In the meantime, they got slapped by Bark in a friendly. They drew against ARIS and they have beaten PARALIMNI. So you got to start somewhere, but that's a stonewall pen if I've ever seen one right there.
Yeah, no, that's a penalty. I don't. It's and well, the good thing is as well, Mirallas has finally scored his first goal for him. I mean, we're in March now. He's finally scored a goal for him. It just reminded me of what Joel said on Monday when we were interviewing him. Is that some of these players have got a lot of experience. They're not necessarily here for to try. They're here to enjoy themselves and have a last hurrah kind of thing.
But do you think Mirallas came to Cyprus for that, or do you think he felt that he still had something to offer? Because let's get it right, AEL, as famous as they are, they're not an OMONOIA, they're not an APOEL. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you think it was a bit of a risk, or perhaps he felt that he could bring something to the club?
I mean, it could be a bit of both. It's a bit of both, really. But whatever promises he was given, whatever promises he gave, it's not coming to fruition, is it? I mean, it's just not happening for him. just isn't happening for them. I mean, it might start happening for them now. Better late than never. See if they can kind of launch a charge into that top 6. But there's too many teams performing too well for them to be able to catch up, I think.
Yeah.
They kind of threw a lot of money into the team in the summer because of how badly in relation to in their past they performed last season, and it looks like they're doing the exact same thing. So they basically spent all that money to stand still.
Yeah, the thing is, they came close to winning the title a couple of seasons ago when they chased OMONOIA and APOLLON. But that one mistake from Vozinha, which let Biseswar score, effectively ended their title charge. And the thing is, losing Maier, the striker, to Ferencváros, obviously hurt them. But it seemed like they had a good nucleus of talent there when Gerkes was in charge.
Yeah.
But they just disbanded, as clubs do in Cyprus. 10, 15 players leave, 10, 15 players arrive. You can't get any consistency at all. And we saw in the summer, they brought in Silas as the head coach. They had Bebe as sporting director. They didn't have a sporting director prior to him being there. And it's almost as if they gambled, but it hasn't paid off again. And it's no surprise that the fans are quite unhappy at the moment. But the thing is, they're not as vocal as ANORTHOSIS yet at the moment anyway. So yeah.
I think they realize that this is probably like a transitional period that they're in at the moment. That's probably why.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, they're not. You can't say they're not vocal. I mean, they're they're beating the crap out of the stadiums. But yeah, I think there was. I saw on social media a couple of places as well. They had a lot of fans there in PARALIMNI. So it's quite a journey. Cyprus distances to make to go to the game.
Yeah.
So they've still got like a really big following. So I guess I guess they must be believing in whatever project seems to be in place.
When I look at their squad, and look, we know that there have been many underperforming players there. Clearly, Muriel has been their standout player, the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Someone like Teixeira that's been there a while. I like him as a centre back. He's solid. Very rarely makes mistakes. Hugo Bastos is pretty
Before
decent.
He got injured,
Yeah, exactly. As I said weeks ago, I expected Lazar Pavlovic to come into his own, having joined from Partizan, but unfortunately he picked up an injury. I don't know what's happening with him. But then you got players like Casa. You got, as you mentioned, Miralaz. You got Katakliknic, who is, I don't even know what's happening to him. Is he even playing? Saido Berahino hardly plays now. Even Stefan Shepovic, who, joined with a big reputation, having played in, La Liga and in Belgium. I like Stefan anyway, and this is a personal opinion anyway, so of course I'm going to be biased. But they have got a decent squad when you look at it, but you just know it's not a squad that's going to challenge for European places or even a cup.
Yeah, I think what surprised them is that they kind of went in thinking, right, nobody's going to amass the kind of squad that we're going for, and then kind of everybody above them's done the same. So if you have a look at some of these other teams like PAFOS and ARIS and some of the bigger teams as well, they've also gone in and spent a load of money to try and keep up with everybody else, and I think that's kind of what's done them in. I mean, it's not necessarily the amount of goals they're conceding, because they're not conceding that many for their place that they're in. I mean, at the moment their goal difference is 0. They've conceded 11 and they've scored 11. So it's that goal scored column that's an issue for them. So it is the players like Miralles, like Berahino, like Casa that aren't performing the way that they're supposed to. Whereas, you know, your defensive players are doing the job.
Yeah. To be honest, I think there's a player that we clearly haven't mentioned him, but he's been one of their better players this season, and that's Aaron Chibola.
Yep.
The Congolese lad, but he played for Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest. I think it was at Kilmarnock before going to Turkey. And look, let's get it right. He's not your N'Golo Kante. He's not your Kostadinov or your Bashiru, but I think he's still got a lot to offer. And he's only 27 years old. You'd think that, no disrespect to the Cypriot League, but you see players go out there in their 30s.
Yeah.
But he looks like he's got something about him, you know. Maybe he needs a bigger platform. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, he had he was at MK Dons, I think, before he signed.
That's right.
Villa.
Yeah.
He signed for Villa. I don't think he did. He didn't do much. I don't remember him doing much. He went on loan now to a couple of places because he just wasn't getting into the first team when Villa were in the Championship. And then they just didn't renew his contract, so he ended up moving to a few different places. So maybe that, you know, Villa is a club with a lot of history and a lot of expectation. I think that probably stunted his development a little bit.
Yeah.
So now he's kind of got the drive to be like, no, you know what? I can actually play, which is why he's kind of moved around and gone to places you wouldn't necessarily see English-based players. So he's gone to Turkey, he's come to Cyprus, and you know, the glimpses that you see of him during the game, he's a really good player. He's very good close ball controls, very good at his passing, he's very good at setting up, good with the tackling. He's good with the tackling. I think he's on like 6 yellow cards at the moment. So he goes into the tackle at least. You know, he's not scared to jump in there and try and get the ball back. So he's got something. He's just like the forward players in that team are what's letting them down at the moment.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think when you want to strike a partnership, it's the same with every position, whether it be 2 centre forwards, 2 central midfielders, 2 centre backs. You need to have like consistency, and I think he and Mladojevic do very well together. And when Mladojevic isn't there, perhaps he doesn't stand out as much because I think Mladojevic allows him gives him license to play a bit more. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when he's got, I don't know, who's the fella that played with him last game? Zradowski. I think they're too similar in the physicality. Yeah. So I don't know, but I think he's not disrespect. I think he's better than APOEL, in my opinion. Anyway.
At least at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, how APOEL are at the moment. You know, you would have expected them last season as well. You would have expected them to be competing more, and they just haven't. Reasoning behind that, don't know. But yeah.
What about PARALIMNI then? I'm sure they might feel a little bit disappointed that they didn't get anything out of this game, given some of the chances they have.
They did. They worked hard, but I mean, in the end, if you have a look at the chances that APOEL missed again, Kostic, the PARALIMNI goalkeeper, is kind of like he was the best player this weekend. You know, we've been going on about their midfield and Diawara and Mayra and some of the other players around them, but this time around it was the goalkeeper who pulled out the stops. And I think he's the way he's been performing for PARALIMNI. I think he's got some bigger teams looking at him, whether that's in Kipro or abroad. I don't know, but he's got some other teams looking at him. Rumors. The rumors have started. Obviously, you know, we're getting close to January, so everybody's gearing up for the transfers. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of really good goalkeepers this season. There's a lot of really good goalkeepers.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very difficult to point one out to say that he's the standout guy, because obviously Piric has been brilliant for AEK. But looking at the other clubs as well, you know, They've been pretty decent. They've been pretty decent. So I can't complain. But just back to Paralimni. I mean, you mentioned Diawara, who's obviously on loan from APOEL.
Well, yeah.
Rusha came in after leaving ANORTHOSIS in the summer. He didn't really have a great spell there. He's got 3 goals this season.
Yeah.
But it's almost as if his last goal was like 1,000,000 years ago, you know, for the club.
Yeah, I did. Rusha has been about. He's been about. He obviously has some skills. He has a skill set that teams are interested in. It's just that goals don't seem to be necessarily one of those skills. I'm just going to bring up some of his stats.
Well, he's only got 2 league goals this season. He's got 1 in the cup.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the last time he scored. In all fairness, I honestly cannot. And this isn't me taking the piss or anything. I just don't remember the last time he scored. Was it when they beat Olympiakos in October?
I wouldn't be able to tell you. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Pass. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to check now myself. The last time they won again. Well, the last time. Let's have a look. They lost 2-1 to Chloraga. Diawara scored that game. They lost to APOEL. Was it against ARIS when he scored?
So goals he scored. He scored against AL in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
And then he scored against Nea Salamina in beginning of October.
Yeah, the 2-0. Yeah. So that's the last time he scored for him. Now, I forgive me, but I don't know if he's been injured or whatever. But you know, we're almost in January now, and for him not to have scored since October, I mean, look, I don't want to shit on the guy because you know he did well for my club, Omonia, when he was there, and he's a Paralimni lad. I think he came through the academy. But look, if you want to stay in the league, you need goals, and you need goals from all over the pitch. They're not getting that now. And while a few weeks ago we were saying that Olympiakos are going to get sucked into the relegation, or Olympiakos were practically dead and buried, it looks like they're going to have a strong chance of survival. Paralimni look like they might get sucked in, man.
Yeah, I think they seem to be playing well and just not picking points up. So they need something from somewhere. Otherwise, you know, it's going to get harder and harder to motivate those players, especially since you know Paralimni they've got a pretty young squad as well. So
and they've got DOXA next as well, which ain't going to be.
DOXA
tomorrow.
I mean,
tomorrow.
That's a 6-pointer really for what's going on down at the bottom, innit? So it's going to be but yeah.
What you mentioned, well, in the notes you mentioned IL fans got no football to go watch. Do you want to explain to our viewers what that's about?
Yeah, so before the matches, it feels like 3 years ago now. What I've taken to calling the demolishing of the Tirio.
Oh, that's good.
I know, right? I was trying to work, and that was in my head the whole time while I was trying to type an email. I got to write that down. I know, right? I know, but yeah. So basically, the first round of disciplinary stuff that we talked about last week, where IL fans are banned from 1 away game, got nothing to do with what happened at the Tirio. And they did a second lot of disciplinary announcements with specifically for this match. And so the APOLLON IL match, which would have been at the Alphamera Stadium. I almost said Netto. Jesus Christ. The Alphamera Stadium. So basically that derby now is going to be in an empty stadium. So that's going to be that's what that stadium's there for. On top of that, IL, as I understand it, IL will then also have another 2 games without their fans present. So altogether, IL are going to have 4 matches without any of their fans. So great for them. Obviously, they're already suffering quite low down the table. They're starting to pick up some form, like you were saying. They haven't lost in 2, so but yeah, they're going to have what I think or I understand is going to be 4 matches without fans there. It's going to be going to be interesting to see how the players react to that kind of atmosphere, because even with the fans being so far away from the pitch at Sirio, AEL fans are loud. I mean, if you watch the highlights of the PARALIMNI game, you can hear them the whole time, and it's kind of the same arrangement they've got at the Thassos Marco, but without roofs. So in theory, the sound disappears as everybody's shouting anyway, and you can just hear AEL fans the whole time. So no fans at these games. It's going to be interesting. Now, following the decision by the Cyprus FA to put down this punishment, a director at AEL called Mario Stadiotis released some photos of the damage to see what happened on the 4th of December that is not in the AEL stand on Facebook.
Oh.
So it put a load of pictures of damage. Few things to say on the photos. One, they were taken during the day, but the match was at night, so could be whatever. The photos were released after the punishment hammer came down on AEL hard. And the third thing I wanted to bring up is, why did it take 12 days for him to release the images if he had them this whole time? So it's a bit weird. I think it's a bit weird.
When is anything normal in Cyprus?
Well, yeah. I mean, I love the quote that kind of came with them. There was like a couple of paragraphs. So I'm gonna read it out in Greek, and then I'm gonna do the direct translation, and I'm gonna do a transliteration. And it's great. It's great.
Just gonna go back and forth. That's fine.
Για όσους πιστεύουν ότι τρώμε ψέματα, να τους ενημερώσουμε πως έχουμε αλλάξει διατροφή εδώ και καιρό. So that directly translates as, for anyone who believes that we eat lies, we inform them that we have changed our diet a while ago. And I thought I'll put it in proper English as well. So it's for anyone that
I love those translations. It's
right?
like when I was a kid, mom used to say to me, "Papai's Xilo, I'm gonna eat wood."
Yeah,
which actually means she's gonna beat the shit out of me.
Right. So it's great. It's great, kind of the ending to it. So it's for anyone that believes we feed people lies. Our menu changed a while ago. But yeah, there you go. So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's lying or anything. I just think it's really weird that he only decided to release these images 12 days after the match. Considering, the CCTV of the AEL fans absolutely trashing the place was released, like an hour after the match got cancelled?
Do you think he gave him enough time to do some photoshopping?
I don't know. It could be that he just went and took pictures of the AEL bit and then said, look,
maybe.
They did this on the APOLLON side as well. But
yeah, I've spoken to I had a little conversation with Kiri from Cyprus Mail, and it was about the images that we put up the other week about the new stadium, and we just both agreed that it's artwork. But I think Kiri has got some photographs of the APOLLON end. No, sorry, it's another friend of mine that's got photographs of the APOLLON end when they kicked off against AEL. So it's a never-ending story, isn't it? But I'm sure they'll live happily ever after.
Listen, right? You've got good chanfasulia, but in the end, it's all Ospria.
There you go. Well done. You're on fire tonight, man. On fire.
I'm going with the food that he's talking about.
Oh, you're making me hungry now. Making me hungry. Right. Next game, APOLLON, a 1-0 victory over DOXA in their new stadium.
Yeah, the
So
Albi Arena.
yeah, imagine being the first goal scorer at a new stadium and it's actually an own goal.
Oh man, it's just it's unbelievable, isn't it? The Adenon, right? That's how it's pronounced.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I had a little bit of an exchange with a friend of the pod, ANORTHOSIS Stalker.
Yes.
Yeah. About it being the highlight of this guy's career, and then other friend of the pod, Cyprus Football E, came in at the back post and dropped the bomb that the guy will either be famous for being the first goal scored at the Alpha Mega Stadium, or that he got banned from football for a year for assaulting a referee. He's made a career of it.
Oh, bloody hell. Well, look, shall we talk about this goal that was disallowed? Because at first viewing, I didn't think anything was wrong with it. But in all fairness...
I still don't think there's anything wrong with it. No.
No? I don't know. I think it was slightly off.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, even when they kind of showed the line, they only showed it like 5 or 10 minutes after the actual VAR decision, and they just flashed it on the screen so people didn't see it quick enough. So it's a weird one. It is a really weird one. But yeah.
This could have gone either way, though, to be honest, this game, because DOXA had their own chances. Have you just seen APOLLON hit the post?
Well, yeah, it's not
very
an
entertaining
game.
First game at the stadium.
Yeah, it's not an APOLLON game without the frame of the goal getting absolutely battered.
Yeah,
both. Yeah, there you go. There he is.
And Hendy didn't know whether to celebrate or not.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's the offside decision. It was a weird one. We can talk about that a bit later. But yeah, the Sobchik, the DOXA player, he had a really good game. He hit the bar. Yeah. He's the one that scored the goal that wasn't a goal. Kameni as well for APOLLON hitting the bar. Good thing. So the one thing that I saw when I was watching the game is Bitas, rather than being like the number 9, the one who's getting his head on everything. Instead, he was the one. It was kind of playing the second striker.
Yeah, playmaker.
Which seems to be his better position, at least with what we saw from this game anyway. Because he was threading balls through passes, crosses. He's the one that crossed the ball for the own goal. I think he prefers to be that second striker rather than the one trying to nod it in.
Yeah. What I found interesting about APOLLON's play, well, there's two things. First of all, they like to use width, very similar to AEK. That's the first thing I noticed. A lot of their attacks stem from out wide, but they played Alasami left back and Hamas left wing. So it's almost as if they had the added protection on their left-hand side, but they also had the two guys that can overlap each other because they complement each other very, very well. And I think that's a very, very interesting way to play, especially against a DOXA side that effectively played like 3-5-2 system. Now, I don't know whether that's going to be something they're going to continue doing throughout the season, because when you look at Transfermarkt, for example, it shows that Dingini was right wing. He wasn't a right winger, as you quite rightly said. It was more Bitter on that right hand side, but it was operating as a number 10, so to speak, a playmaker. So again, I don't know if that's how APOLLON are going to play moving forward, but it's a good win for them. It's a win that they definitely needed, and again, they seem to be in good form at the moment. I know they lost against APOEL in October, but they drew against KARMIOTISSA. So they beat AKRITAS. All right, lost to AEK, but who hasn't lost at AEK this season,
Yeah.
and they beat PARALIMNI and DOXA. But the last 2 games, potential banana skins, but they got 6 points, and they got OMONOIA on Thursday. So, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if they make it, you know, 9 points out of 9.
Well, I mean, you know, especially since you being the OMONOIA fan saying that is, yeah. But yeah, the thing is, right, Magridi has got the same team as Gadala, but it looks like he's changed. He's changed the way that they play fundamentally. So, like you were saying, using the wings a lot more than what Gadala was doing. So, I think it, you know, they've kind of seen what you know, your ARIS and your PAFOS are trying to do, and trying to implement that. And AEK as well, obviously, they're kind of the big merchants of the wing play at the moment, and I think they're trying to just match that up because it just seems to be working for everybody else, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The thing is it a gamble from Girzi to bring in Magridi as head coach, because this is effectively his first head coach role, isn't it? Because I know he was the under-21 head coach, and then he was the assistant. Look, we've seen this happen before with Gadala, for example, being promoted from the lower ranks to head coach, and he did well at the beginning, and he kind of petered off. But you know, Magridi is a very well-respected guy in Cyprus. You know, he played for APOEL, OMONOIA. He was in Ukraine for a bit, so it's not as if he's just someone that has been plucked out of the air. He clearly knows the Cypriot league. But in terms of the experience from a head coach perspective, perhaps they do need someone fresh, because look, Gadala, I think is a fantastic head coach. I like him. I really do like him. And while, you know, the results tell you otherwise, I think he's a very progressive guy. But at the same time, maybe he didn't know the Cypriot league as well as he should have. So bringing in someone like Magridis, who again is an up and comer, but knows the environment. Maybe that it could be a masterstroke. It could be a shit show.
Well, yeah, but I think Magridi. You say Magridi is a newcomer, but up and comer. Sorry, but I think he's been in that role for quite a while, because he retired a while ago, whereas I think Gadala retired the season before he started managing at AEK.
Right.
Kind of took on that that backroom role at AEK. I was kind of just waiting for his chance. Whereas I think Magridi has been just working. I think he's just been working, because he's been retired for a while now. I don't. It must be at least 3 or 4 seasons. But
fair point. Yeah. Well, maybe this is something for our APOLLON fans to discuss and give us their thoughts. Another question I need to bring to your attention: the club captain CHAMBOS, he hasn't played since the AKRITAS game in November. Now, I don't know if he was injured, but he hasn't played the last 2-3 games. He was on the bench. Now, Magridi has gone with Gol and Saha in the middle of the park. I'm sure Zrandi will, when he's back in form, will be in with a shout. Now, this isn't me saying that Humbo is finished at APOLLON, but we know there were murmurs about him possibly leaving last summer. I'm not sure when his contract expires. I think it expires in 2025.
Okay.
But to me right now, it doesn't look like he's got a future at the club. What do you think?
I mean, it would be. It's not the first time people have turned around and said he's not got a future at the club. And what he did then is he ended up going on loan for a season in Portugal. So, you know, he's got it in him to kind of prove people wrong in the past, because he was like for 5 years at APOLLON before they sent him out on loan out to Estoril. Yeah. So I don't if maybe he just organises, if it's the case that they don't think he has a future, then it might be that I'll show you guys like I did last time. Gets a loan move, plays his arse off, and then ends up coming back into the team, next season.
Okay, another question then. I remember at the beginning of the season, Panagiotis Artimata, the new signing from Anorthosis, the centre back, man of the match display in the Super Cup against Omonia, has only played 4 games this season, hasn't featured under this new head coach. Again, does this seem like a coach who has been viewing the club, obviously under Gadala, and probably thought, okay, we're champions, some signings have been made, some players have been here a bit too long. There are certain players that could play in the system that I want, that I can trust. Is he doing the nicey approach in the sense that, okay, I'm not going to completely leave you out in the cold. You're going to be on the bench from time to time to keep you happy. But at the same time, I don't really see you in my plans.
Well, I think it depends. But yeah, the fact that Artimada isn't really showing up in these games is a bit of a weird one, I think, because it's not like he's underperformed when he's played for him. There's I don't know. It just seems to be. I mean, you just seem to be mentioning the Cypriot players as well. So I don't know if there's like a clique thing going on, maybe. That
We'll put it this way: the only Cypriot player that started at the weekend was Bitsa.
Yeah.
The only Greek player that started was Mavrias.
Yeah.
And Mavrias, they were saying under Gadala that he was going to be out the door, but he's reborn, so to speak. They've obviously stuck with Roberge, who's the captain now. Jovanovic has done well, so maybe that's the reason why Timata hasn't come into the team. As I mentioned, Alessami and Hamas played on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
And they seem to be doing well. So I can understand you don't want to, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when you have, Humbo, who's an experienced player, I know he came off the bench and he was probably brought in to tighten things up. And if Saha and Cole are doing well, which they are, then understandably so. But at the same time, this is a Cypriot international player. And at what point is he going to turn and say, right, I've gone from captain to being on the bench to making limited appearances? At what point is he going to turn around and say, maybe I should look elsewhere? Look, I don't know. Maybe I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but
no, you're right. You're right. But we've been talking about having stability and talking about stability this whole time. If you, it's a strange one, because if you want to be, I mean, you're well worth moving players on, but somebody like Hambo who's been in the club for as long as he has, there's going to be a certain, I don't know how to put it, but the social aspect of it. He's been in the team for as long as he has. He kind of knows that. He probably knows the ins and outs of like all the social cliques and everything that would have be in the team. So he's probably one of the players that kind of binds everything together. So if you end up sending him out of the door, sending Artimadaz out the door, some of the players that have been around for a while, so like Roberge as well, for instance, if you end up showing them the door, then you're kind of getting rid of that stability even more. So there's a stake to claim to kind of keeping certain players in place. For instance, like Omonia, just to bring it back to Omonia for you, like you've got. Like a couple of months ago, they announced like 3 or 4 of the Cypriot players signing new contracts, and one of them was Banai.
Yeah,
and Banai is third choice goalkeeper right now. You would have thought that being a Cypriot international as he is, and being the kind of caliber of goalkeeper he is, you would have thought, you know what, I'm gonna go. Because he hasn't had a look in for like 2 seasons now, has he? Like a proper look in.
He played. What was the last time he played? can't remember actually. Was it last season in Group B when Lennon gave him a shot? I can't remember.
But yeah,
but then again, look, when you got Fabiano as your number one, it's gonna be very difficult to dislodge him. And Uzoho is an international goalkeeper, but at the same time, without going into too much detail, I honestly believe the whole idea was to sign Uzoho and hope that Nigeria made it to this World Cup and that the club could sell him on. But obviously, his error cost Nigeria a place at the World Cup. But that performance against Man United is obviously put him back in the shop window. So maybe that was the thinking with Omonia. That Banai was always going to be it, because don't forget we got Kyriakidis as well, who's out on loan.
Yeah,
and he's a good goalkeeper. So,
but yeah, so there's that's the thing about that stability, because Banai's been there a long time as well. Some of the other players that have signed long-term contracts, there's the separate ones have been there for a while as well. So I think, considering that everybody's hiring, firing, buying, selling, releasing, pissing off, all that business, despite the fact that they're doing that, they're also trying to maintain some kind of familiarity for people, so that when people are getting launched into and out of the revolving door, then there's somebody to grab them and go, hello, how are you doing? This is the place,
well. Yeah. Anyway, on to the next game. And Apollon's next opponent.
Hold on. Before we go on to the next game, I just wanted to say that the match, the Apollon match, got delayed for 20 minutes because
that I didn't know.
Due to congestion in the road network. For people listening, I'm doing a shocked face.
No.
Yeah.
No.
What a shock.
Last thing I would have ever expected to happen. Oh, Jesus. Thank goodness it didn't snow in Cyprus.
No,
anyway. Right. Oh, God. So Apollon's next opponents are Omonia, who lost 2-1 against AEK. To summarize this game, I told you so. AEK's main threat were going to be out wide. Both goals came from wide areas. Omonia were a goal up. And to be honest, the first quarter of the game, we were brilliant, I think, anyway.
No, I agree.
Took the lead from a set piece, which we haven't scored from in God knows how long. The last time we scored a goal from a set piece was in a pre-season friendly against ANORTHOSIS, which Militic scored. This time it was Adam Lang. And then afterwards, we just capitulated because, hey, we had a very good defensive line until Jan Lesiaks decided to turn into Titus Bramble and decided to completely forget his responsibilities as a fullback, costing us 2 goals. But I'll let you talk about this game, mate, because I'm still seething from that performance from our left back.
I mean, I looked at that highlight for AEK's first goal like 3 or 4 times, and they actually took it to VAR as well to check if Farage was offside. Is like, why was he where he was? That's what I'm trying to understand, because it's not like it's not like AEK were in like going into an attacking position. They just it was one of their defenders that received the ball from, I think, like a wayward pass going forwards on Omonia's side, and then he just went to go do the long ball to Farage. But Farage noticed that Lesiaks was wherever the fuck he was, and just carried on running. So he went to go meet the ball.
It's terrible. And the thing is, I took a screenshot of the replay and sent it to the lads in the WhatsApp group, and you look at the shape. You got the 2 front men, Humbo and Karim, together. You got the 4 in midfield in a line, and you got the 3 defenders in a perfect line, and then Lesiaks is about 10 yards behind them.
Yep.
And you're thinking, what the fuck is this, man? I expect this from a teenager or an inexperienced defender, but you're talking about a 31, 32-year-old fullback. Look, here it is, all over the top. And And the thing is, this is another thing that annoys me. You know he's left-footed. Why are you letting him cut in? He still had work to do. He's brought the ball down. Get closer to him. Force him out wide. But no, he lets him bring the ball down, turn inside. All right, you could say that Adam Lang could have done better as well. But if you watch the goal again, Lesiak's turns his body as well, man. Yeah, he turns his body.
It's
criminal. Look at this.
There it is. There it is. There it is. Right there.
This is criminal. It's indefensible. Indefensible.
I still like. Was he kind of, lying down injured or something? Did he get brought on and that's why he was so far back?
No. He just didn't read the line. He didn't read the line. And it was downhill from then. From then.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really don't know about this team, man. I used to think it was a mentality thing, and I still think it is, but they're just not good enough to challenge. They're not good enough in comparison to the opponents or the rest of the league. They're just not good enough. And again, you look at Ajax attempts, or should I say their attacks. I made notes of it that I did on the podcast. And every time they got in behind us, it was always because of wide areas. It's no surprise that they hurt us. And the winning goal, which we're going to see pretty soon, 10 seconds prior to the goal, the ball's played from their left to our right. Sorry, their left to our left. So it's left to right. And it's gone into Lesiak's area. Now, instead of letting the ball run for a goal kick, because it's an overhit pass, he heads it away. But he heads it back into danger. And then they basically go attack his area. He misses out on the 50-50 because he bottles it and they score. And I got Ferreira saying that full time, saying, "Oh, it was a foul. It was a foul." It wasn't a foul. It's a great challenge.
Foul. Yeah, it wasn't a foul. He should have put his boot through that ball. Yeah. When it got to that point, and it looked like he kind of almost ducked out of it because he was scared he was going to get injured.
Yeah. It's criminal. It's absolutely criminal.
Yeah. I don't. It must be. It's got to be like a mentality over the whole team because I think later on as well. There's Lang doing one hell of a back pass. Yeah,
the suicide part. Yeah, the suicide ball. Which if the goalkeeper didn't have a good starting position, it'd been curtains.
But when we get to
this is the one.
This is it, right?
Look at that, man.
Is that him? If that's him sprinting back as fast as he can to kind of try and make up for his mistake? It's incredible. Like
he's still not in the picture.
Like, no.
The ball's gone. He's still not in the picture. There he is.
Yeah, but it's again, yeah.
But look, take nothing away from Ajax. They fully deserve the victory. Second half they're putting more bodies in the box. They knew that we wouldn't be able to defend this. I mean, look at that. Every time the ball goes in the box, we can't deal with it. We cannot deal with it. And we had a few half chances, and there was a header from Gusul earlier, which we saw should have scored, in my opinion.
And then Karim tries the fancy shit there.
Lang had a free header as well, which he should have scored. People were talking about Hooper's miss at the end, but I think there's a little bit behind him, a very difficult one to deal with, and Pilic did very well. But I think we're about to see the winning goal, if I'm not mistaken. I think it came straight after this one, this offside. Here it is. Look, he bottles out of that for a start.
Yeah, he needed to put his foot through it, and he kind of.
And look at the marking, or should I say the lack of marking. Fucking hell, man! Honestly, the ball watching.
Again, it's a problem. It's a problem in the league. We're talking about Muriel doing as defender's job for him. A couple of the goals that we're going to see in the highlight reel here is always like the second ball is always the attacker that gets to it first because the defenders are asleep. But with Ajax,
fucking bottled it, man. Oh my god! The more I see it, the more annoyed I get. I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, it's fine. But I mean, if we go towards Ajax side of stuff, then to kind of cheer you up a little bit more, they actually went top for a little bit.
Yep.
So they're putting their own run of games together, like APOEL are doing. Now, the last time they actually lost was on match day 8 against APOEL. So they're really going for it. And again, the goalkeepers, Pirich actually, in that first half pulled off some great saves, and that last one as well. When the Ajax players were kind of surrounding him for saving that last shot. It's
it's not the first time that he's saved them this season. That's the thing.
He's really like, as a defender, if you know somebody like Pirich is behind you, it gives you that added confidence to play better as well, because you know that there's someone behind you who knows what they're doing.
The scouting team pulled off a fucking blinder finding him. Honestly, honestly, he's only 28 as well, man.
Yeah, no,
he's only 28.
He's got like, I mean, goalkeeper years. He's got another 10 years in him.
Yeah, incredible, absolutely incredible. So, yeah, hats off to them for finding this guy. I think he was in Turkey actually before joining them. So
yeah, he was at Andromedos before he was in Turkey, and then he spent 6 months in Turkey, and then went to Ajax.
Yeah, well done him. Well done him. Well done, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, next game. Which one shall we go to now, man?
Before we go, there's a little addendum on there as well between basically. Salamina and Ajax are playing against each other in the next match day. They basically did a joint press conference to be like, please don't do what you did last time, please. Please, for the love of all things that are good and holy, behave yourselves, please. And then talking about the history of the two teams and saying like, that this one match at the beginning of the season kind of reflects badly on both teams, even though kind of there's some idea together of kind of acted together in the past for certain things. So, I mean, that's fine. But if you're calling for calm that way, it means you're expecting something. I think they're expecting something, and they're trying to keep everybody cool. Like at the end of a Quentin Tarantino film, like, everybody be cool. Everybody be cool.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go on to the next game at the Ghazi B Olympiakos, who are probably going to the Magario Stadium after this game.
Yep.
They got a 0-0 draw against ARIS. What the fuck is Olympiakos' problem, man? They're just getting points
ruining
against
everybody else's season, aren't they?
Now, it did have a few minor shaves, should I say, for ARIS. Don't get me wrong, both sides had their fair share of opportunities. But since we were critical of Olympiakos' heading ability or inability, they've improved, especially defensively.
They're trying to get a goal that's not a penalty.
Yeah.
Hit the bar with it. So,
Sergidis is
really doing. Yeah. So, like I said, when Sergidis started, my question was, well, what was the point? He must have really seen something in this team that nobody else has, and that seems to be the case. Yep. He's really seen something in them that people before him didn't think was there. So all fair play to him. He's played 3 games where you'd expect them to lose, and they've come out with a point in each of them. With that, with not terrible performances. Some pretty solid performances.
100%. And look, you don't draw against ARIS and you don't draw against Buffer if you're a mug. And as I said weeks ago, I said they were down. I thought that was it.
Yeah,
but this
new
head coach comes in. This new head coach comes in. He makes them, I'd say, better defensively. He makes them more of a threat going forward. And they seem fitter as well. They seem much fitter.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Again, I think was it Joel said that he's gone in with the players and talks to them every day, talks to them one-on-one every day, and gets them involved and tries to treats them as actual human beings, which seemed to be kind of like refreshing. Talking to Joel on Monday. So that must be what he's done with these players, is actually giving them a voice. He's actually hearing what they've got to say and trying to sort problems out. And that's motivated them to actually go and perform. Like Guerrier, when I was watching this game, Guerrier was an absolute demon. He was like all over the place, jumping in, headering the ball away, getting his body on the line, clearing everything, taking shots at goal. He was doing everything for the team. So
they seem very organised as well defensively. That's another thing I noticed, especially after last week. They seem more stable at the back. They seem to be dealing with headers a lot more. I should say, dealing with crosses a lot better. So look, it's a good sign of things to come. They were unlucky against Buffalo. They were unlucky against ANORTHOSIS. A little bit unlucky this game. And Joe, if you'd have told them that after Buffalo, ANORTHOSIS, and ARIS, you'd have 3 points, they'd have taken it. Because their season had been so bad. Like, they'd have taken it.
No, completely. Is again, we talked to Joel on Monday, but Charles fella seems to be pretty good as well. Doesn't he? Yeah. So he seems to have done a good job for Olympiakos while Joel was out with the virus. So
I think
Joel
will be back though. He'll be
back.
back.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think he seems to be, Mikey seems to be doing a really good job there, and we'll kind of
100%.
shat on him to start off with, but he seems to, so I'll take that back. But yeah, the whole the whole thing about Olympiakos wanting to go back to the Magarion is insane. The stadium's held up with
shall we talk about that?
Yeah.
Shall we talk about that before we discuss ARIS? Let's talk about that. Come on, because there's something that Donaides came out with earlier on.
Today. You'll be able to talk more on that because I don't have the TikToks or anything like that. But yeah, the Magarion is basically held together with gaffer tape and prayers from the new Archbishop of Cyprus. Man, it's
It's more of a health and safety threat than the Tyrion.
That's what I was saying. But Lokomotiv Polemiskion don't have a problem playing at the Tyrion, so maybe Olympiakos are fine at the Magarion. They just make sure the Archiepiscopo does some extra prayers before the game. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I had to say about that. The fact that they want to go back to it. Obviously, I think it's got something to do with the costs of putting the games on at the RCB because of the big kind of the bigger attendances you could get at the RCB. Olympiakos don't get them, but you could get the bigger attendances at the RCB. But because of the bigger stadium, you've got more security, more staff to pay for, and all that business. I'm guessing it must have something to do with that.
Yeah, well, Cristoforo Donaides, who's the head honcho at Olympiakos and a very colourful character, just put it that way. He put out something on social media about the RCB. Now, before I explain in detail, the RCB is a stadium that is not owned by the FA. It's actually like a somadio. It's a how can I put it?
It's owned.
It's an association.
A lot of the stadiums in Cyprus are owned by the Cypriot Athletics Organization, and they rent them out to the clubs. So that is the same with the Tsirion and the Alpha Mega Stadium, the Rasipi, the Stelios Kyriakidis in Bafo, the Magarion, all of them, a lot of them. Yeah.
And just to add to the political side of things in Cyprus, OMONOIA, who've been playing in that stadium for God knows how many years, almost were booted out of the Gazibi last season because of comments made by the president of the club about the board members being APOEL fans. And he believed that OMONOIA were being charged more to play there because of who they are, blah, blah, whatever. But Don Naidis now, the head guy at Olympiakos, came out with a statement on social media basically saying only truths. These are the reasons why we are leaving the Gazibi, and these are as follows. First of all, we've fully paid off all of our games, including the last one with ARIS, to the Gazibi. The cost for each game after discounts for us is around 11,000 euros. But the Magario is 3,000 euros. So the total cost was over 200,000 euros for 1 year. He said we were promised by the Cypriot FA and SIDA, which is the TV station that has the contract for Olympiakos games, like last year, that they would give us 50,000 for the lighting and 12,000 euros for, I'm assuming that the word is gallery, but I'm guessing that's probably the locker room or whatever. In the end, they weren't given anything. So that's why their political plans have changed. Because number two, I was promised by several people that we would have an income of around 70,000 euros for 7 matches. In the end, we didn't get anything, not even €1. Also, I was promised that we would give away 250 season tickets. In the end, we sold and collected 89. So basically, he was given the impression that by going to the Gazibi, Olympiakos would sell 250 season tickets. In the end, they only sold 89, not even 90. He said the only income was from the company Adboard, which is I don't know what company that is, which I'm assuming they are the company that put up the LED lights or the LED boards around the touchline, and they got 65 grand. But apparently they need to compensate them now because they're going to the Magario, which doesn't have that. So he said the moral of the story: don't trust anyone.
Well,
he goes, oh, sorry. It actually ended it going, and for the gossips, we also paid the salaries, VAT, and social security number up to November. So he's come out there and he's just said what he's got to say.
So he's gone, all right. No, fair enough. No, what's so kind of financially with Olympiakos is a bit weird, in that they almost went into administration in the summer, and they couldn't sign players because the Cyprus FA and the betting authority in Gibro spent ages approving their new sponsor on the shirt. And because of that, they didn't have the finances to sign players. So I'm guessing that's probably one of the reasons why, for instance, Joel signed pretty late on in the summer, for instance, to re-sign with them.
Aren't they sponsored by PhoneBet?
Yeah.
Aren't PhoneBet the... Yeah.
But
I know PhoneBet are sponsoring a whole heap of clubs now. Heap of clubs.
But because it's a betting company, they have to go through the betting authority in Gibro to make sure, everything's above board. And that was taking so long. And because that was taking so long, that had a problem with their finances in the summer.
It's always sticky, isn't it, in Cyprus?
But if he's got good enough insurance for the club at the Magario, have at it.
Yeah.
Just make sure people don't jump around too much.
I just want to quickly touch on ARIS because after that draw, they now have 6 points out of a possible 12.
Yeah.
We saw Shpilevsky holding a A4 bit of paper against ANORTHOSIS saying, "I love you guys." Do you think he'll be saying "Tara, guys" pretty soon?
No, it's guys, I love you.
Guys, I love you. Sorry.
Guys, I love you. Yeah. So
guys, it was emotional. Guys, see you later.
Yeah, all that business. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna wave him off because I don't think he was on the touchline for this game either.
No,
Was he ill?
I don't know.
I read something there. One of these last 2 or 3 games he wasn't. So it was suspended because of calling the referee a clown or whatever, and then he missed another game because of illness.
Right.
Yeah, but they've also.
But that's 6 points out of.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, 6 points out of 12.
Yeah, they've kind of dropped off a lot, which is kind of why we're saying it's a 3-horse race now. They're saying that they're only 5 points off top, so they're
And they
still.
got APOEL next.
Yeah, so if they get a result, which you'd be looking at them getting it because it's their first game at the Alpha Mega. So you think,
but there's going to be more APOEL fans than ARIS fans there. Actually, are APOEL fans allowed to go?
No,
they're not.
No. They're. So that was something I was going to mention as well when we got to the APOEL game.
Okay.
But we can talk about it now. Might as well bring it up now. Basically, the Cyprus FA came out, I think, this afternoon to kind of update the clubs and kind of people about what that fan ban means. Basically, APOEL can take 40 people into the ground, but those 40 people need to be on a list, and that list needs to be sent to the Cyprus FA for approval. So, you're going to have 40 people in the away end. That's
40 hand-picked people, no doubt.
Yeah. It's less than the 100 that were causing the trouble, according to the APOEL press release a couple of weeks ago. But yeah.
Well, look, if they don't beat APOEL, then I'm not going to say that.
You start counting them out, I think.
Well, yeah, this is it, because they've got KARMIOTISSA next, and they lost to KARMIOTISSA last time, albeit suspiciously. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. Gagarin is going to be back for that game.
Yeah.
However, I'm quite underwhelmed by Stepinski this season. I expected him to at least show up at the half of the play that he was last season. But look, beginning of the season, people were saying to me, "This look the real deal," and I said, "Look, just wait, because come December, when the injuries start mounting up and the suspensions start mounting up, and players, who started the season well, start to drop off like they did last season, you're going to see a completely different side." And they've got the deficiencies. And yes, it's great that they kept clean sheets against Ireland or Olympiakos, no disrespect, but they're not scoring either. They're not scoring. And that's going to be an issue. It's going to be a big issue. So let's see.
Yeah.
Next game, where shall we go? Shall we go Agrida and their new Russian head coach? Who'd have thunk it, eh?
Yeah. No Lennon.
Let's have a look. Yes, we thought it was going to be Lennon, isn't it?
It's more with an I at the end of his name instead of an O.
Yeah. And they started off well, a goal up against Salamina at home at the not really at home, is it? At PAFOS Stadium. Well, it might as well be at home because it's in the same city and same owner allegedly.
Yeah.
But another win for Salamina. This time, no centre back scored, but Thiago got the winner. I love Thiago, top bloke. But yeah, what about this game then?
So I think AKRITAS will feel really aggrieved with the score. They were unlucky. They were unlucky not to get something from this game. Melisas again. Melisas another good goalkeeper, I think, for Salamina. He's doing a good job for them. He's one of the players who's.
Are you surprised that wasn't a pen? Are you surprised that wasn't given?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few surprising decisions this match day. We've not been really talking much about the refs or the VAR so much this time. Quite a few of these weeks, but this week they've dropped the ball on a few decisions. Few weird decisions that have come through, but it is what it is.
Well, look, that for me was a stonewall penalty. I think the goal that DOXA scored is still a little bit debatable, and I'm sure we're going to talk about another decision in the APOEL game. But for me, this game, it was back and forth as you'd expect from both sides, because they're not the type of clubs that sit back and hope to hit teams on the counter attack. They're very brave in the way that they play, and I guess AKRITAS don't have the defensive stability as most clubs, which is obviously hindering them this season. But they're giving it a go, aren't they? For a newly promoted club, they're not scared of anyone.
No, and they shouldn't be. So the other thing about AKRITAS is they've got the youngest squad in the league. So there's not
the opposite to KARMIOTISSA then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've I mean, again, talking about more good goalies, Ben Drell is also doing really well for him. He's been a bit unlucky with some of the goals. With some of the goals that he's conceded, more kind of defensive errors rather than him. This, I don't know. I don't understand why this took so long as a VAR decision for the penalty. Like, how many angles do you want to see him throw the fucking elbow? It's like, fuck off.
Well, it just needs to double check,
No, like, fuck off. Get fucked.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I mean, this was a really entertaining game. Like, I wasn't expecting it to. Like you were saying, that both teams have a go. Really good penalty and really good save. Like, I think the only thing you could probably say Abraham did wrong there is maybe like he put it at just the right height for the dive. Maybe he needed to put it lower or higher, but it was just you can't fault either player for what went on there.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's a terrible miss, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. You got to be putting that in.
Yeah.
Chico Bantha. Chico.
I gotta mention my thing again. Is we're on match day 16 now, and Akos Onodi still hasn't played for AKRITAS in goal. I'm doing that for my brother as well as me now.
I love it. Onodi watch.
Onodi watch.
Oh mate. Oh mate.
But yeah, the Salamina, right? They're in 6th now because of this.
Yep.
If we were talking about them kind of, I was talking about them creeping into the top 6, and you were a bit kind of a bit shaky on it. But if they keep grinding out results, if they keep getting these surprise results, and your OMONIAs and your ANORTHOSIS and your ARIS don't pick up their performances on their side, then that top 6 could possibly be a reality for them.
Well, we saw OLYMPIAKOS getting the top 6, what was it, a couple of years ago? So I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility. But at the same time, what I will say, as much as I rate Bursa as a head coach for Salamina, they're a very athletic team, very strong, very quick. But I think if something happens to one of those two central defenders, they're going to be in trouble. They're going to be in big trouble. And look, Diakat, again, central defender, scored the goal. I think him and Adoni are their leading goal scorers.
Yeah.
So if something happens to either one of them, they're going to be in big trouble. And okay, if sputs and maybes, whatever, it wouldn't surprise me if someone does pick up an injury or a suspension, and that puts, throws a spanner in the works. So that being said, they've got a lot going forward. As I mentioned, Thiago came off the bench to score. Miguelito is a very good player. Marcaza, As much as I don't like the guy, he does a job. So look, is someone like, I don't know, Gatsigas good enough to come in to replace Dirkat or Adoni? I don't know. But look, we've seen players like Humble, we mentioned earlier, being up there top of his game, and now he's sat on the bench. The role can be reversed for certain players.
Yeah.
So look, I'm not ruling it out, but I'm hoping that my team fucking bucks up their ideas and they're not fighting in Group B. That's just
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, a good gauge for where Salamina are is the next match, because they've got AEK.
Yeah.
So you know, if they end up getting some kind of result against AEK, it could be really dangerous for OMONOIA. Getting that one of those last two places. So,
but how's this for a winner though? Look at that give and go 1-2. Beautiful football, man. Yeah. Beautiful football.
Yeah.
And look, as I mentioned Thiago before, I always said that he was a big game player for OMONOIA. And you know, how old is he now? 34, 35? I don't even know how old Thiago is now. He's 35. And he's still doing it. Big game player, clutch player. So underrated, man. Such a good player. And he's a lovely guy as well.
I'm sure. No, again, this is the annoying thing that I've spoken about so many times. Second ball. Where's the defenders?
Yeah.
They kind of just stopped, and they're like, well, can't do nothing about
that. Yep.
So,
Ball sub ball in effect there, mate. That was great passing. Great
it was a really good team goal. You know,
see, this is the thing. Like we see some really shoddy goals in the Cypriot League, right? And you know, my friend Rodri, he always slates me whenever I show him some goals in Cyprus because like, the goalkeeper's shit, whatever. But then when you see that, you're thinking, yeah, man, some of these players are ballers, man. Some of these players are ballers. And again, I think that was who did he play? It was Miguelito who played the 1-2 with originally. It's Miguelito, yeah.
Was it? I think it was Chico or Miguelito. So somebody there.
Yeah. Miguelito, yeah. So yeah, there you go. So you never know. As you mentioned, they got AEK next, so that's a very, very big test. But look, if they get a point, then I don't think anyone will be complaining. Not from Salamina's point of view, anyway.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
right. Go on, Karen.
No, I was going to say I could complain, but that's
it. All right, go on. Next game, it's going to be APOEL beating ANORTHOSIS by a goal to 0. You mentioned circus music, mate. Shall I put it on the edit? Some circus music on the edit, mate.
It's so bad. ANORTHOSIS is so bad. Oh, I don't.
Well, penalty conceded in the opening 10 minutes. Your mate worries.
Like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna take shots all the time anymore. I'm gonna do some defending. Don't defend either. Just don't. Like, I had an analogy last week, right? I mean, they missed the penalty. Marquinhos was a shit penalty. But anyway,
it's that run, stop, stutter, and I think Loria
just actually hit it. He didn't. He just rolled it to him. But yeah, I made an analogy on Waris last week. They need to have a word with the local glue factory. It's really bad. I mean, on the other end, you've got Filitalia, who's another game where he hasn't scored a goal. He's trying, bless him. That's a really good save.
Loria had the game of his life, didn't he?
Yeah. Really, he really he's finally decided to show up to the game.
And here's the winner, which you can say is a bit fortuitous. Yeah. But listen, you wouldn't care at the end of the season if you're an APOEL fan, and that was the difference between you winning the title, finish second. Now, this is another decision where people say offside, not offside. For me, I think he's on because I don't think Filita was in front of the ball when it was played.
Are you just able to kind of pause it when they bring it up on screen? The kind of the VAR.
There we
Right.
go. Yeah, I'm pausing it right now.
Where the hell? Where have they seen the foot that's made him onside?
I think it's not the defender closest to Kvalitaya. It's the one in front or to his right. I think it's him. I think it's his knee.
But they're not measuring it off his knee, are they?
Mate, again, I can't.
It's
look at. I look, for me. If he's in front of the ball when it's played, he's offside, right?
Yeah. So for me, I think the reason why they gave it onside is because when the cross comes in, he's behind the player crossing the ball.
Yeah.
But
I think
the way they've drawn their lines there, I don't know if they've drawn that line to go across the crosser's foot or not.
Well, you can't even zoom in. That's the thing. They haven't even been able to zoom in. And look, I get all the criticism and the conspiracy theorists saying, "Oh, it's APOEL getting the decisions again." Look, it's a very difficult decision to make, and unless you've got the new VAR that they use at the World Cup, you still can't really tell. And those lines, are they the right size? Again, it's a talking point that can go on for days. But the fact is, Kvalitaya didn't score. It was actually a fucking deflection. So it's not as if like he put the ball in the back of the net. If he's put the ball in the back of the net, I understand even more why people are angry about it. But it's an own goal, for fuck's sake, you know. So again, this isn't me like, okay, you know, I'm an OMONOIA fan, obviously, and I genuinely should be pissed off about decisions like this. But at the same time, this is fucking football, man, and you can't keep saying, "Oh, the referees, the referees, the referees." If this was an OMONOIA goal, there would be furor. If it was an ANORTHOSIS goal, there'll be. So if it happened to any team, we'd be discussing this. But for me, I think it's you can't blame VAR and you can't blame the referee for giving it, as far as I'm concerned, anyway.
Yeah, I think it's they basically looked at that and gone, it's really close. We can't make a decision, so for all intents and purposes, we're going with the on-field decision, which I think, was for the goal to stand. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't one of those games where ANORTHOSIS would turn around like they did the previous week, saying they were unlucky. They were just abject. They were poor. And the big story before this game was Varda not playing. Now, for people that don't know, in Cyprus, when a player gets a certain amount of cards, they get suspended, but the club can choose which games they're suspended for within a certain time frame. And ANORTHOSIS decided to make the suspension for this game, not against KARMIOTISSA. And as a result, Varda has got pissed off. And, well, I would say, quotes, nothing was really announced from Varda, but a lot of the press was saying, oh, he wants to leave. From as I understand from the people that I know close to the player, he was just pissed off that he didn't play. There's no talk about him leaving. Even ANORTHOSIS said, if he wants to leave, then someone needs to cough up. This is a great chance, by the way.
Yep.
And again, me sidetracking here, talking about this opportunity from Ninga. They always say shoot across the goalkeeper. Why is he going near post?
I don't know, man. Just and then Warda, not Warda, sorry, Waris getting away with giving away his second penalty, because that was a penalty as well.
What is you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, you can see why they keep talking about ANORTHOSIS going for strikers.
Yeah.
In January.
By the way, did you see that article? How a club in Cyprus has advertised for 2 players in the no? I have to send it to you, because there's an article, one of the newspaper, one of the websites. And it goes, a Cypriot club has put an advert on this football website advertising 2 players. In fact, I can't bring it up on screen because obviously, like, I don't have it on my computer. But I've got it in my WhatsApp. Let me just bring it up just one moment. I sent it to a mate of mine. So yeah, description: urgent, needed 3 players for big club Cyprus, 2 to 3 forwards, salary between 250 to 450 per year net, fast end salary between 250 to 300 net per year, and number 10. There's a number 10, so Legari or a playmaker, salary between 250 to 300k net per year. So this was an advert placed on like jobs for football or some shit, where usually clubs advertise for, I don't know, grounds persons and all that. But Cypriot clubs or some Cypriot clubs have decided to put this advert, and it made the press in Cyprus. So everyone's asking, well, which club is it? Which club is it? But I know for a fact ANORTHOSIS are looking for 2 strikers. Having spoken to an agent that was contacted by the club who asked for 2 strikers, and his response to them was, how the fuck am I going to find 2 strikers with a salary that you want to pay, with the statistics and the ability that you want? So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's again clown show. It's a clown show. It really is a clown show.
Go to APOEL very quickly. They look to me in second gear again, much as they were against OMONOIA.
Yeah,
if they do get into a third gear, mate, they could walk away with it, can't they?
I mean, this is what I'm thinking: is who's going to stop them?
Yeah.
Who's going to stop them? I mean, the only teams you'd think maybe Ike, the way they're playing at the moment.
Yeah.
Kind of. But even then, last time they played, APOEL won. So it's theirs to lose. I think it's theirs to lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Sucks to be you, I guess.
Yeah. Did you see the video they released with was it Villafañez and Ferrari celebrating celebrating Argentina winning the World Cup?
No, I saw the one. I saw one where they were like, "God, thank you for the fans of our club supporting our nation." I saw that one. Not the...
No, they really. I think it was on their Instagram. APOEL, they're the 2 players in the dressing room with the Messi shirts and celebrating winning the World Cup. I love it. Do you know what? I love seeing footballers celebrating victories for their nations. Do you get what I'm saying? Because you know, in the build up to the World Cup final, obviously I follow various footballers on social media, and there was like Dolmes with the French side of things, Botiak with the French, and you got the Argentinians, and you could imagine just them going to training where you've got the Cypriot lads sitting in the corner like thinking, oh, I wanted Argentina to win because of Messi, whatever. And then you've got the Argentinians in the dressing room going, Messi, Messi. Singing about Falklands and shit like that.
Yeah. No,
absolutely.
They're, and you know, football players are fans as well in the end, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you know, if anybody ends up being a Cypriot footballer, a really good one, and doesn't play for Cyprus, I mean, why wouldn't they? But anyway, you'd think that if they end up getting a result like what they did against Portugal all those years ago, where they drew 4-4, you'd be like, it's I think it's nice.
Yeah, acting like humans. There you go. There
you go.
All right. Final game, and Buffer closed the gap. They're back in the title hunt with a 1-0 victory against KARMIOTISSA. Again, more controversy, which we're going to see at the end, which led to KARMIOTISSA's Twitter admin putting out a very sarcastic post. But I'll show you that in just a moment. This is the goal from Zairo. Lo and behold, you know, who else? A victory for Buffer, but it wasn't comfortable though.
No, it was not. It was not. But I think you know, Sofroni's first game, players are probably geared up to kind of show him what they can do. Probably Sofroni was using it more kind of like as a gimme kind of game, or like a friendly game for them. for him to see what kind of players he's got, what he needs to improve on in January, who does he need to ship off. Couple of things I noticed from KARMIOTISSA, from Chicken Garm. But yeah,
very good.
yeah, thank you. Carrying on from last week. Dumbia needs to learn how to pass. It's so many shots from outside the box and just flying off all over the place, where a pass would have been the more sensible option. They've got a good. I think KARMIOTISSA have got a good base of players, which they need to supplement with some youngsters. Get somebody under the age of 35 in that team. They've got Singh, who's fairly young, and then everybody else seems to be over the age of 30 for them in the first 11. Kind of on the other side of things, if we talk about Bafo, Semedo, great at assists. He should stop trying to shoot. Like he did that cross for Gyro's goal. Great cross. Yeah. Great stuff.
Yeah. But this one disallowed for offside. Yeah. What a fucking hit that was.
Yeah.
Can you imagine scoring a worldie?
Proper whacked it, right? But yeah, he's offside because he put his arm up. He's offside because he put his arm up.
I mean, we're talking about the APOEL goal, right? But this one was even more confusing. But there's another incident at the end which we're gonna see.
Yeah. But yeah, that. Oh God. You know. But yeah, no, I think that offside decision kind of works because at least they did it at the shoulders of the two players.
Yes.
Because there was a lot of controversy in the Premier League, I think, in the first season that they had VAR, where they did it on the sleeves rather than on the shoulder. So a lot of goals were disallowed when they shouldn't have. Whereas I think that decision there was pretty spot on. Very, very, very close.
I was impressed with some of KARMIOTISSA's defending. They weren't afraid to throw their bodies in front of the ball, but as the game grew and got later in the game, they had to get bodies forward, and Buffer could have had 3 or 4 in all fairness. Tankovic he's not having a great time at the moment, is he?
No, he's not. He needs. But I think he hit the bar against APOEL. He had like a really good chance against APOEL, and I think that's playing on him.
Yep, 100%, 100%. But what do you think this victory will do for Buffer then? Obviously, as you said, new manager, you got the new manager bounce, but I think they deserve the victory. But at the same time, they were very, very wasteful. And when you look at the goal difference come the end of the season, they might look at this one and think, Jesus, we could have had a 6 or 7 in this one.
Yeah, Buffer, they really. I don't. It's very difficult to gauge which Buffer's going to show up, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the next game they've got, you think they'd boss that one as well. I think it's AKRITAS what they've got. Yeah, they've got AKRITAS next. So you'd expect.
I'm sure they'll get the victory there if they need the points. Not that I'm suggesting anything untoward would happen in this one, but
no.
What about this decision then?
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
I mean, that is a huge decision to make. For the benefit of those listening, crossing the box, the Buffer players leapt to head the ball. He's decided to put his arms up, claims to have been touched in the face by the KARMIOTISSA forward. He hasn't been touched at all. Ball's hit his hand, and nothing has been given. And as a result, KARMIOTISSA, in true Cypriot fashion, because let's be honest, this doesn't really happen anywhere else apart from Cyprus, they then proceeded to put out this tweet as photo of the day, the photo of the match. There you go.
There you go.
I mean, that's fucking petty, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh my god.
That is no way. That is no way. Like, get over. He wasn't pushed. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, he went to VAR as well, and they said no on VAR. Like, what?
I mean, in what world did they see any contact made on? Was it a defender? Was it? I think was it.
It was
I don't know which
Juninho,
defender it
wasn't
was. Was it Juninho? Yeah. I don't know where the contact was. How it baffles me.
It's I don't know how that wasn't a penalty. I mean, it wouldn't have been deserved regardless. It wouldn't have been a deserved, equaliser. But don't do that, lads. Go as if he was pushed. He was not pushed,
mate. The thing is, they haven't got it slightly wrong.
They got it.
It's a monumental fuck up.
Yeah. What I'm looking for. So, kind of unlike in other leagues, what the Cyprus FA does every so often is it releases a review of the decisions that VAR and the referees have taken. With utilizing VAR. I want to see what they say about that. I'm waiting for it to come out. I'm waiting. You show me the bloody video that you reviewed. Show me where the fuck there was contact there.
Mate, it's unbelievable though. It's unbelievable how they got that wrong. I've seen it 4 or 5 times. I even slowed it down when I watched it on YouTube the first time. And I thought, is it a flailing arm? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, I get it. Like, some teams get decisions for whatever reason. This happens on a regular basis in Cyprus. But as you quite rightly said, how can they justify that one? How can they justify it?
I don't know.
You can't. You can't. I don't know. Now, I get that they're going to want to defend the referees and they're going to probably put an apology and say, yeah, we got it wrong, whatever. But it's too late. It's too late.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I do, but I'll get sued. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, well, no more legalese for me to read. Thanks.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, but let's get it right. That tweet that KARMIOTISSA put out, that is incredible. Absolutely,
Best
it's petty,
response.
but yeah, that's firing shots in the best fucking possible way, mate.
Yeah, that's...
Oh boy. Right, is there anything else we'd like to discuss? Are there any
I think we
betting issues?
No, dear Lord, no. I'm just waiting for the next. I'm waiting for the next Digastiga. Probably in the new year, they'll probably make some decisions that will send someone in a tailspin again, sending out press releases. So that'll be great.
Yeah. One more thing, Thomas MURG has been linked with is joining APOEL from PAOK. Know anything about that?
No, I also did see that. It'd be an interesting one because I think he worked with Milanic before, didn't he?
I think so. I think so. But his injury record isn't great, so
no.
yes, it would be an interesting one because I think they need. I think APOEL definitely need a winger. They've been lacking on the right hand side. Donis is obviously injured.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tricky one. But look, he's a good player. But it wouldn't be a strange move. But the fact that he joined PAOK 2 years ago for a pretty hefty fee. I know it's 2 million, but 2 million is a lot of money for a club like PAOK.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really set the world alight. So again, it'll be an interesting acquisition. So yeah, I think Crespo's getting a lot of credit for that. He may have had a word with him.
Yeah. Well, he's. I mean, Crespo he's kind of been he's been one of the signings of the season again. Like, kind of hanging around with Konstantinov, Crespo has been really good for him. Who's bloody? I had it up here.
What's that?
Susic has been really good
right
for him
back,
as well. He's been fantastic as well, especially the last 3 or 4 games. APOEL have got a team.
Yep.
There's a team there, and they're going to be. It's theirs to win it. It's theirs to lose it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, look. Side note. MURG has the same agent as Lonis. Just letting you know.
Oh, okay.
So
all right. So yeah, there's a few connections with the club. So that
quite a few. But it's the same with most clubs at the moment.
Yeah.
Most clubs. When you see a player linked with a club, just look at who their agent is before assuming whether it's true or false.
Yeah.
Because if the agent already has players at that club, chances are he's probably had a word with the president and said, "Look, I've got this player. I know you're interested in a specific position. Take a look at him. What do you think?" So yeah. Sign him, and we'll do business in future. But anyway,
yeah.
This is it. Anyway, this has been another interesting episode of This Is Mappa. We've gone close to 2 hours on this one.
Christ.
Thank you, everyone watching. Now, for those of you watching at the moment, I've set this as a premiere, so it isn't live. It's actually 11 o'clock in the UK and midnight in Paris. So thank you, Thassos, for staying awake to do this. And thank you, everyone watching, everyone tuning in. As I said, don't worry about not putting up comments and that they're not being brought up like with no choftes. This isn't live. But the next time we do a live, we'll let you guys know so you can tune in and we'll get you guys to wait in. You know what? Maybe before the season resumes, because obviously there's a break, maybe you and I can do like a season so far review or like a team of the season or 11 players of the season before we go into it. So, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of players who we agree on. We do our own 11. I did one with Roy when Omonia won the league. We did like our own non-Omonia 11, and my one won, got the most votes because I know ball. And Roy doesn't. Well, he does, but not like me. Come on. He's watching that going, "You fucking bastard." Great. So thank you everyone again for tuning in. Follow us on Twitter at This Is Mappa and at Flair's Cafe. And as you see at the bottom, at Cyprus Football E, who's our friend. We big him up as well because he helps us out. And everyone else that watches. So that's it.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Back. When are we back? When's the next round of games?
Well, I mean, the next match day starts tomorrow.
Right. So when's the last match?
Yeah, I will tell you now.
Because we're going to have to do something. Obviously, Christmas is going to be a bit of a tricky one for us to
Friday.
do. So,
I don't know if you want to do a Christmas Eve one.
Mate, do you know what? No, I'm going out. I'm going out Christmas Eve, unfortunately.
So we could do like
I have
Boxing Day if you want.
I have a birthday to go to Christmas. Yeah. So yeah, well, Boxing Day would be good for me. I don't mind doing one if you want to do one. If you ain't got family commitments.
Boxing Day.
I don't drink, so I'm not going to be drunk. So
French people don't do Boxing Day. Boxing Day is
really?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. So yeah, we'll do something then. So there you go. Your Boxing Day is sorted. We might as well do a live one. Fuck it. Let's do it live.
Let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it live.
Let's do it live.
Hello, Riley.
There you go. That's it, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back in a few days.
Yeah. See you later.